Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We can never get enough when it comes to food and cooking ideas. Welcome Chelsea Lords from chelsea'smessyapron.com. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
So tell us, Stacy.
You want me to start with
yes,
this? Okay.
yeah.
So Chelsea just moved in to my cul-de-sac 2 months ago. And so I hate to go meet new neighbors without food, right?
Well, I don't cook, so I may never meet a new neighbor.
So I baked some bread and go introduce myself, and I'm like,
Thinking she's done something so fantastic
She
for
kind of
her.
told us this story.
It was amazing. It was amazing. We ate it the same day.
She's like, and then she's a cook. I go.
so I'm like talking to her husband, and what do you do? And then I'm like, so do you just stay at home? That is so rotten of another woman just to assume a woman stays at home because that's a great place, but do whatever you want to do. Anyways, I was just like, oh, she's like, no, I'm a blogger. I'm like, oh, and you like, what do you do? And so it was just
Then
so
goes home,
fascinating.
and then she's like, she's very successful.
She's like legit. She
and
was
she's
fun.
gonna hate my bread.
It was so good. We ate it the same day.
And she was so sweet and
it was
said,
so
"Oh,
good.
it was so good."
It was.
so,
I'm being genuine. It was very good.
anyways, I've made 2 of your recipes.
Oh, okay.
So I will give a shout out for your banana bread.
Oh, good.
Hands down, the best banana bread I've ever made.
Good.
I've struggled with banana bread
Good.
because it goes gooey in the middle.
Right.
And I love to bake. I don't like to cook. And then the treat I loved was, I think it's your chocolate chip M&M cookies
Oh yeah.
with maple syrup.
Right. That's my
Okay,
secret
so
ingredient.
why?
Okay, so let's dive into like how'd you start and then get into these recipes.
Okay, sure. So just like a little bit of background about me. I come from a large family. We had 7 kids and I was the second oldest. And so my mom actually loved to bake, but she hated to cook. And my older brother would never be caught dead in the kitchen. And so I kind of just started cooking for my family from a very young age.
Wow.
I loved it. And I know this is the weirdest thing for a young child, but I like entertaining, and I would set up as extravagant dinner parties for my own family. I'd be Asian themed nights and get curtains and grab my panda bear stuffed animals and make an Asian, dinner.
mom was
and
in
stuff.
heaven.
And so it just was my passion, from a very young age. And so, and I, would search recipes and cookbooks or kind of make up my own thing. And I just loved it. That was my thing. And so going through college, I cooked, all the time. I cooked for my roommates and myself, and then my boyfriend who became my husband. I mean, that's pretty much, I think, why we're married.
Won him over.
Right. That was the only thing going. So he loved to eat. I loved to cook. And so while I was going to college, I started kind of reading food blogs. They were starting to gain more popularity. And I stopped doing cookbooks because I didn't have any at college. So I started reading blogs and kind of cooking from them, but changing them. I'm really bad at following a recipe. So I, add my own twist or change up things. And so I started reading one food blog in particular, and she started posting what she called income reports. So every month she'd say, this is how much my website made this month, and this is how I made the money.
Really?
Very unusual, very unusual. And I was like, food blogs make money? What? That's so weird, and they were fascinating to me. And I just, I love the business aspect of it. And her husband actually wrote them, they worked full time together and wrote these reports. And then the rest of the month she'd post recipes. And so I just became fascinated with it. And I read every single one, never missed for years and years. And as I was graduating college, I'm like, well, gosh, I want to stay home, but I kind of want to work. What should I do? And so I was like, I'm going to try to do this. I love to cook. I love, the creative aspect of that. And I want to make money. And so I kind of started as a business.
This
I wrote
is so perfect.
I wrote a business plan. It was perfect. It was my job and my calling in life or whatever, And so my husband, it takes a little bit of an investment to start a website going. So my husband was, he's in business, and he's like, well, you have to write me a business plan if I'm going to invest.
Oh boy.
I want to know if you're serious before I, buy you a nice camera, or not buy me, but invest.
Yeah.
When you were going to school, what was your original major?
So I did health science. Food.
Oh, okay.
So kind of.
I mean, my website started out as kind of a more healthy food.
Until you moved on to M&M chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, exactly.
With some maple syrup.
Exactly. I really like to bake. And I mean, it still has a healthy twist, but it's more mainstream, family friendly. That's what kind of attracts the most visitors. And so, so I wrote this big long business plan, and he's like, okay, I think you're crazy, but this is awesome. Let's do it. And so he learned how to code a website. And so we started doing that together, and it was kind of our passion, just setting it up. And it took, probably a month to code it and design it. And he actually took my first photos for the blog. Like he was, you know, I know how to use a camera. He taught me how to use it. Like I just didn't know this. I just knew how to cook. And so,
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's really great. And he's always had a big part in the business, which has been really fun. But, and that was like actually during his paternity leave. So we just had really fun setting it up. And then he went back to work.
Yeah. Everyone should.
Yeah. He got an awesome one. Yeah, it was so fun. And then he went back to work and he was traveling like 6 days a week. So I just like went into this like, you know,
So
it
what
was my
did you do
life.
first? Like, I'm going to make a recipe today and set up the
And
camera?
start doing it. And like you know, the first year of that website, I probably worked like 70, 80 hours a week. Like it was, you know, because he was gone all the time.
Oh,
And so, yeah, he just, like, I kind of just threw myself into it. I had no friends out, you know, I just moved to a new city, had nothing to do, and I was like, I'm gonna make this work, and I'm gonna, you know. Oh, wow. And so that's
So
kind of,
what do you, like, put the baby down for a nap, bake something, like, take pictures?
Right, yeah.
I mean, really, like,
I mean,
Because you got to set up a camera, right? And then edit it, stop.
yeah, and I was doing everything on my own that time, and that's why I think it just took so many hours. Because I was not only learning it, like I started buying, you know, food photography books because my husband couldn't take my photos anymore, so I had to learn. And so, you know, and I had a really good base of creating recipes because I'd done it for so many years, so it was more like learning how to photograph it, learning how to like publish it, how to edit a photo.
So the recipe wasn't the hard part for you?
Not for me.
That came more
It was the
naturally.
business aspect of it.
The business aspect, and like just reading and like, you know, like delving into learning, networking with other websites that were already
so when
established.
you first post that, how do you get yourself out there so that people are looking at you and your stuff?
So a huge thing is social media, and like it changes, and that's like the most evolving part of my job is just learning social media. So when I started, it was very different then than it is now. Then Pinterest was pretty new and a lot bigger. And so like I would pin something and by the end of the day it would already have like 1,000 repins or something, you know, and I had hardly any followers. So it was just things went crazy on Pinterest.
Okay.
And then, you know, networking with other sites. So you'd comment on other blogs and then they'd come and like share your thing on Pinterest. So it was just very, very different than how I like promote myself now.
I'm sure that's a big like time taker.
And
is
I have a
to
full-time
do
person
that.
doing social media
Really?
because it's just like it's a full-time job.
Full-time on social media for one blogger.
For one site.
So like any company out there, if they don't have a social media person,
they need to get a
They
social
need,
media.
because the more you comment, the
huge.
more that you're networking within
and
that.
not so much commenting anymore. It's like evolved a bit, but more, you know, like just pinning out to certain boards and at certain
tagging
times of the
them.
day and tags and Instagram, Facebook, you know, there's just Twitter, like every different social media. It just
What is
creates
the
so
biggest
much.
right now? Like, what's the most popular?
Well, for me, I'd say Instagram's probably the most popular, but it's not a big traffic driver for me. Facebook is what actually drives the most traffic.
Really?
So that's where we focus most of our time on.
Really?
and did you just say Pinterest is not as high anymore?
And Pinterest is actually probably my second or equal to Facebook as they
okay.
refer. But yeah, it's very, very big. But I'd say probably Instagram's like the most popular. It's just not a great traffic driver for me because there's no clickable links. There's nothing.
Yes.
You know,
Gotcha,
so
it's a little harder.
Because we only
to do,
do Facebook, and these two are trying to talk me into doing Instagram. So
just
we
to
need
get the
talk
younger generation at least to be able to see
Well, that's
you,
the thing.
and
There's
then they could go
different.
somewhere
There's
else.
different audiences for sure. Like I'd say Facebook and Pinterest is maybe an older generation, whereas Instagram's very young.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
I would
new
agree with
social
that.
media like TikTok is very, very young.
Yes,
And so
huge.
It's just staying savvy on those and talking to the audiences that are on those websites. And so, you know, it takes like a lot of analysis, a lot of, you know, just learning the audience you have. It's almost even different from your blog.
Just seems like there's more business aspect or equal to as the food of what you're producing. The business aspect is just as important.
And most like, you know, people in the field will say you spend as much time promoting your content as you do creating it. So it's very like a very big part
can't
of the business.
just,
You can't
make a
just,
recipe and
make
put it out
and
there.
hope that someone's going to magically stumble upon it. I mean, of course we have followers that, you know, will faithfully come to my website, but you know, for everyone else and trying to get the word out, it's all about social media and, you know, Google search traffic, you know, getting your stuff ranking on Google.
Wow.
Okay.
Hold that thought.
yes.
Hold that thought. We're going to talk about the business element next. Coming up next, Chelsea will stay with us and talk about the business of running a blog and the new business options available. There's more to come.